In the United States, 1 in 4 adults over the age of 65 falls every single year. Falls are now the leading cause of fatal injury in that age group, ahead of car accidents, ahead of most diseases. And the fear of falling, once it takes root, changes everything. People stop walking as far. They stop going out at night. They quietly begin rearranging their lives around the possibility of losing their footing. And in doing so, they accelerate the very physical decline they are trying to avoid. Think about what that looks like 5 or 10 years from now. You start scanning every floor for rugs and uneven ground before you cross it. The grandchildren want to go to the park and you say yes, but you spend the whole afternoon watching the path instead of watching them. The groceries sit in the car because the front steps feel different than they used to. And then one day someone, a child, a doctor, a well-meaning friend, suggests that maybe you should not be living alone. That conversation, quiet and devastating, is where untreated balance decline ends up for millions of people. It does not have to end there. Japan has the oldest population on Earth. More than 10% of the country is over 75. And yet Japanese women in this age group fall significantly less often than their counterparts in Europe, North America, or Australia. The data keeps confirming it. They move differently. They age differently. Not in their genetics, but in what they do every single day with their bodies. This is not about diet or social connection, though both matter. It is about 4 balance exercises, practiced daily, embedded in Japanese physical culture, that preserve the systems responsible for keeping you upright. Systems that, without use, begin deteriorating in your 50s and accelerate through your 60s and 70s until the first fall happens, and then, too often, the second. Japanese women over 70 do not have superhuman balance. What they have is a daily habit of keeping the machinery of balance, the inner ear, the sensory nerves in the feet, the stabilizing muscles of the ankle and hip, continually engaged rather than allowed to go silent. The benefit is not instant, but it resumes the moment you begin. The nervous system responds to use. Before we get into all 4, I want to tell you about the 4th one now. Japanese rehabilitation physicians have observed, over decades of working with patients who had lost the ability to walk independently, that restoring one specific daily movement brought many of those patients back. No gym, no equipment, less than 2 minutes a day. We will get there. But first, the 3 that make it work. Drop a comment before we start. Tell me how old you are and where in the world you are watching from. I read everyone. Exercise 1, Ippon Ashi. In Japanese, Ippon means 1. Ashi means leg. The exercise is exactly what the name describes, standing on one leg. What is less obvious is why something this simple earns its place in the daily routine of women who almost never fall. Balance is not a single system. It is 3 systems working in constant conversation. The vestibular system in the inner ear reads the position of your head in space. Your eyes give you reference points in the world around you. And the proprioceptive system, the network of sensory receptors in your muscles, joints, and the soles of your feet, tells your brain exactly where every part of your body is. When you are young, these 3 systems are redundant. If one falters, the others compensate. As you age, all 3 begin to lose sensitivity, and you can no longer afford to lose one. Standing on one leg puts all 3 to work at once. Your inner ear is working, your eyes are scanning, and the ankle of the standing leg is firing hundreds of micro-corrections every second. Small adjustments you are not even aware of. That ankle, and the feedback loop running from your foot to your brain and back, is exactly what goes quiet in people who fall. Ippon Ashi keeps it loud. Always practice near a wall or sturdy chair. Stand on one leg for 30 seconds. Switch sides. Repeat twice per side, under 4 minutes total. Each session sends a signal to the nervous system that this capacity is still needed, and the nervous system responds. Over weeks, the ankle corrections become faster and more precise. The gap between a stumble and a fall, which is really just a gap in reaction time, begins to widen. Ippon Ashi trains the ankle to respond, but the ankle can only respond to a signal it receives clearly, and that signal originates in the one part of the body that touches the ground. Exercise 2. Ashiyubi janken. Most people who develop balance problems do not think about their feet. They think about their legs, their core, their confidence. But the feet are where the conversation between the body and the ground actually begins. Every surface you walk on, carpet, tile, grass, gravel, sends a different pattern of pressure signals up through the soles of your feet to your brain. Your brain uses that information to predict instability before it becomes a fall. When those nerves lose sensitivity with age, your brain is working with a degraded signal. The result is not weakness, it is latency, a fraction of a second delay between the ground shifting and your body responding. That fraction of a second is where most falls live. Ashiyubi janken, toe grip exercises, sometimes called toe janken because they mirror the hand gestures of the Japanese game of rock, paper, scissors, targets this directly. The small muscles inside the foot, ones most people have not consciously used in decades, begin waking up. When they activate, they press the nerve endings in the sole of your foot against the floor with more force and precision. The signal sharpens, the latency drops, your brain gets better information, and your corrections arrive faster. Practice seated, with bare feet on the floor. Spread all 5 toes as wide as possible and hold for 5 seconds. Curl them tightly under and hold again. Then comes the hardest part. Lift only the big toe while pressing the other 4 firmly into the floor, then reverse it. Big toe down, others up. This will feel nearly impossible the first few times. That difficulty is the point. 2 to 3 minutes each morning. Over weeks, what felt impossible becomes natural. That is the whole point, because balance does not wait for you to think. Both exercises work within the same feedback circuit between foot and brain, but at opposite ends. Ashiyubi janken sharpens the signal coming in. Ippon Ashi trains the ankle to act on it the moment it arrives. The third exercise addresses something neither of them can touch. What happens to your balance when you are actually moving? Exercise 3, tandem walking. Most falls do not happen when you are standing still. They happen mid-step, turning a corner, moving from carpet to tile, reaching for something while walking. The moment of greatest danger is the transfer, the fraction of a second when your weight has left one foot and not yet settled onto the other. Western rehabilitation has historically focused on standing strength. Japanese physical culture has quietly trained the transfer itself for decades. Tandem walking, one foot directly in front of the other, heel touching toe, moving slowly along an imaginary line, forces your body through that transfer moment deliberately and repeatedly. Your base of support becomes so narrow it barely exists, and every system that governs balance is recruited at once. The hips work to stop you lurching sideways, the core engages without being told, and your eyes negotiate between looking ahead and reading the floor in front of you. This is not the forgiving stillness of single-leg standing. This is the shifting, demanding reality of actual movement. Ippon Ashi trains you to hold a position. Tandem walking trains you to move through instability. And that is a different demand entirely. The hip abductors, the muscles on the outer edge of the hip, are working hard here in a way they simply are not during any stationary exercise. Strengthening them under the conditions of motion and narrow support is what transfers to real confidence on stairs, on uneven ground, in crowded spaces. Practice along a hallway wall or near a kitchen counter. Take 20 steps forward, pause, turn carefully, and walk back. Keep your gaze forward. Fixing your eyes on your feet reduces the balance challenge and defeats the purpose. Start with the counter close. Move away from it as your confidence grows. 2 or 3 lengths of a hallway each morning is enough. The goal is not distance. It is the quality of each transfer, each moment of single-leg suspension handled cleanly, without a grab or a lurch or a held breath. 3 exercises, each targeting a different layer: the ankle's reflexes, the foot's signal to the brain, the hip's control and motion. But there is a 4th layer, the one that determines whether the other 3 can actually hold you up when the moment comes. Raw muscular power in the legs. Without it, the rest is a foundation built on sand. And the exercise that builds it is one most people would never think to try. Exercise 4, Tachi suari. Japanese rehabilitation physicians called it the movement that changes everything. That is a strong claim, but the physiology makes it hard to argue with. The quadriceps, the large muscles at the front of the thigh, are the primary brake your body uses to lower yourself toward a surface. They are also the engine that drives you back up. Most older adults have quietly stopped demanding anything from them. They drop into chairs rather than lowering in. They push off with their arms rather than driving through their legs. The muscles receive less demand and respond by becoming less capable. The decline is gradual and quiet until the day it is not. Tachi suari, which translates simply as stand-sit, reverses this by making the movement the exercise. Daily demand, daily response, not a miracle. basic physiology. To do it, sit at the front edge of a sturdy chair, feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Lean slightly forward from the hips so your weight shifts over your feet. Stand without using your hands, driving through your heels. Then lower yourself back down slowly. Count 5 full seconds on the way down. That slow descent is where most of the strength gain happens. 10 repetitions to start. If that is too many, begin with 5. When 10 becomes easy, add 5 more. Once 25 feels manageable, hold a small weight at your chest to extend the challenge. One caution: if you have significant knee pain, check with your physician first. For most people, the movement is safe, but that conversation is worth having. Ashiyubi janken sharpens the signal your feet send to your brain. Ippon Ashi trains your ankle to act on that signal instantly. Tandem walking teaches your hips to manage the dangerous moment between steps. And Tachi suari builds the leg strength that makes all 3 possible. Because sharp reflexes cannot catch a fall if the muscles underneath them have nothing left to give. 4 exercises, 1 system. Full details for each are in the description below. Save it or pass it to someone who needs it. Which one will you start with today? Leave it in the comments. And if someone in your life could use this, send it to them. It costs nothing, and it might matter more than you know.